Hello friends, my name is Atul. Welcome to my channel. So today we'll be starting off with article number 26 of URDG, which is force majeure. So if you're new to the channel, then please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon. Also at the end of the video, if you like the content, then please hit the like button. So let's get started. Alright, so we have a case over here. Applicant gave request to Bank CG. Bank CG issued a counter guarantee to Bank G. Bank G issued the BG to beneficiary. The expiry date of the guarantee is 15 December 2021. The expiry date of the counter guarantee is 30th of December 2021. Now, what is basically force majeure? So force majeure is basically a condition or a situation wherein the bank's business is interrupted because of natural events or natural calamities or forces of nature which is beyond the control of the guarantor. For example, maybe floods or earthquake, or if you take recent example, then corona. So in corona times, there were many cities and many countries which went into a complete lockdown stage. So in that case, force majeure would be applicable. Now force majeure is applied at guarantors end as well as at counter guarantors end, depending upon the situation they are in. So let's look at first how force majeure affects the guarantor. So in this particular case, beneficiary is located in town X. The guarantor is in town Y. Similarly, the counter guarantor is in town M and the applicant is in town P. This is their location. Now, force majeure will only be applied in case of a guarantor if there is some problem faced by the beneficiary in reaching the guarantor which is located in town Y. Suppose there are floods, because of which the beneficiary is not able to reach guarantor. Now it depends whether the floods are there in town X or in town Y. If the floods are there in town X and the guarantor who is situated in town Y is able to function properly normally, then this article will not be applied. This article will only be applied if guarantor's business is interrupted because of some problem at the guarantor's location. So suppose that condition of floods or maybe or let's say force majeure or FM happened on 16th of December. On this particular date, the guarantee is already expired. So this article will not come into picture, because for this article to be effective or to come into picture, the guarantee should be live. In this particular case, the guarantee is already expired. Force majeure will not be applied. Now we will be having three conditions. Right now we are dealing with case wherein the force majeure happens at guarantor's end. First, presentation not made. In this particular case, if the presentation is not made and force majeure happens before the expiry date, so in this particular case, suppose the force majeure happens on 14th of December, then the guarantee will be extended for 30 calendar days from the date of this expiry date, and the counter guarantee will also be extended for 30 calendar days from the date of its original expiry date. Now in this case, what will happen is, once force majeure happens, guarantor by whatever practical means, so it can be through email or it can be through telephone, it can be through any means, guarantor has to inform the counter guarantor that there is a FM situation which has happened at my location, and my guarantee is extended for 30 calendar days from the current expiry date. The moment this information reaches the counter guarantor will automatically extend the counter guarantee for 30 calendar days from this particular date. Next is presentation made. Now when the presentation is made, it will have two conditions. First is presentation is made but it is not checked. So suppose presentation is made on 13th of December. Alright, presentation is made on 13th of December, all our working days. So day 1 will be 14th of December. Alright, so day 1 is already gone. Now whenever the guarantor reopens that day, from that day the counting will start. I mean, whatever number of days have lapsed, that will be there. Whatever are the remaining number of days, so as per URDG, the guarantor will be having 5 business days. One is already gone. The day the guarantor reopens, that will be day 2, and within day 5 the guarantor either has to refuse it or pay the demand. If it's found to be compliant, you have to pay. If it's found to be discrepant, you have to send notice of refusal. But in that case, when notice of refusal is sent, beneficiary cannot represent any demand because the guarantee is already expired. Second case, presentation is made and it is checked, and it is found to be compliant. Then you will pay whenever you reopen. If it's checked and it is found to be discrepant, then you will reject whenever you reopen. Now the case pertaining to rejection is okay, but in these two scenarios, if you are making payment, to cover these two cases, the guarantor should be having some additional number of days so that the guarantor can claim from the counter guarantor. Because although force majeure has happened at guarantor's end, but beneficiary has exercised its right as per the terms and conditions of the guarantee before occurrence of force majeure. So guarantor should be given adequate coverage by the counter guarantor. So what will happen in these two situations, this one and this one, the guarantor will be having 30 calendar days from the date it reopens to present a demand under the counter guarantee. Even if the counter guarantee is expired, the guarantor will have 30 calendar days to present a demand under the counter guarantee. So this is the condition when force majeure happens at the guarantor's end. Now let's look at how force majeure will be treated if it happens at counter guarantor's end. Now if the force majeure happens at counter guarantor's end, again we'll be having the same three situations. Number 1, presentation not made. If the presentation is not made by the guarantor, the counter guarantee will be extended by 30 calendar days from the date of current expiry. Next, presentation is made two situations. It is not checked. Second, checked. Not checked, whatever number of days have already lapsed. So for example, it is presented and 2 days have gone, still you have not checked. Then whenever you reopen, that will be day 3, day 4 and day 5. Within these days you have to either reject or pay. Presentation is made and it is checked, but you have not informed. So whenever you reopen, you will either reject or pay. In both these scenarios, the counter guarantor will be allowed to get reimbursement from the applicant whenever it reopens. By default, the applicant will be binded by all these extensions and no objection can be raised in this particular scenario. Alright, so this is how force majeure is treated in case of a guarantee which is subjected to URDG. I hope you like the video. In case you have any doubts, please post your questions in the comment box. Have a great day. Thank you.